Oh, hi there. I wanted to make a little video talking about my very modest collection of German militaria. There's not a lot here. I'm not particularly interested in certain items. I mean, harmless little trinkets, don't see an issue with that. Helmet, it's a helmet. That's what it is. I got an armband here. Flag's not real. Um, It's just funny. I got to thinking. Well, from a historical point of view, um, had the Germans won the war, in theory, I might not have existed because, although my father didn't say, he he's definitely got some Jewish blood in him. That's for sure. With the kind of nose he's got. And he inherited that from my grandmother. I don't know how Jewish they are, but that is a thing. And so, in light of that, I might not have existed had had the Germans invaded London and continued to be evil assholes that they were. But the thing is, they didn't win, and I was born, and I don't have this complex in my head where if, an enemy is against me and they lose, and at the end of the day I walk away, that's part of life. And, I wouldn't hold it, don't, it didn't, it's not applicable to me. To me, these are just items that are worth money. And people, they get all mad when you even suggest such a thing because they don't understand it and they don't want to understand it because of their own biases. The one fly in the ointment, you could say, is that my grandfather was not stupid. Von Paulus in Russia, he had a very, very difficult time talking to the Russians. And, he lived for a number of years after the war. Probably not very well, but he lived. And, he negotiated as best he could because he knew things that were helpful to the Russians. And they were pissed off, and they were basically big assholes at that point. So he was able to negotiate that. So on a smaller scale, my grandfather was also not stupid, and he could have told him a lot of things about India, where he had been for 9 years. The Germans would have really liked to have learnt that, because everyone associates the Germans when they were losing that they were burning all their documents and everything like that. You think the Brits wouldn't have done that too if Churchill thought that they were losing? And being that my grandfather was a sergeant in World War II, I think he was for most of his military career. I don't really know. And the thing is, he would have had information and he would have hammered out some kind of a deal. Because he wasn't stupid. He might have been unkindly, being a sergeant from 1930 to 1945. That is a possibility, but I don't know. It's one of those things. And theoretically, in my opinion, I think I could have still existed anyway. I just wouldn't look exactly the way I do now, or it would be different. That's all. Because one must remember that Hitler's tailor was in fact Jewish, and you may go, how was that possible? And that's because he made fine quality uniforms, and he probably did other things too. And he was given a pardon. That was, for the situation at the time. I guess, that was a thing. You know, history is all around, you know, bad, but how it's depicted now is kind of important. So, you know, I just, you know, I don't really feel like being trash talked because, you know, I have a few harmless trinkets. Like, I really have no interest in any of the more hardcore stuff. Like, I don't want it. It's not, I don't want it. And I thought that was important to mention because information is scarce around me, and I've really had to work very hard at what I'm doing to get anywhere. And, you know, I would ask, in lieu of the video I made earlier, that people calm down, relax. I know I have to keep saying that over and over again because I'm not convinced that they're relaxed. So anyway, talk to you guys later. Have a good one.